Yeah.
Greetings,
We're live.
everybody. Welcome to the Nerdrotic
We're live.
Nooner.
Wow.
Today is
Really?
Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I hope you're all having a great day out there. It's hump day. Whoop, whoop. Everybody needs a nooner on a hump day. What up, everybody? How's it going? There's actually kind of a lot to talk about. Like Chris and I, we just brought up a bunch of subjects that could have been an entire podcast by themselves. Right. And maybe we should do an extra one. Because that other article you brought up, I didn't know about.
Yeah.
I'd love to do a round, like you, me, and Rob.
Yes.
You, me, and Rob need to sit down and have a little chit chat. Yeah. It's like a triangle of views. You know what I mean? Because we're all a little different. All a little bit different. Yeah. But today we will be talking about Trump saves Hollywood. Yeah. I was all set to talk. I did my homework on tariffs because I am not a financial analyst. But I'll tell you that story in a minute. Why I was all prepared for a show yesterday, but couldn't talk about it. But we're also going to discuss Andor dropped its third batch of episodes, and it finally got good. Like, dude, that eighth episode, that was good Star Wars, dude.
Yeah, it got good, and I think it does.
Got to slog through a lot of shit to get there, though.
Yeah, but Bail Organa, like all the stuff with Bail, and Benjamin Bratt is Bail Organa, he's really great.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. Yeah. I love the interchangeable kind of white passing Latinos.
Right.
It wasn't Pedro Pascal.
I know.
Bail Organa. No, I like Benjamin Bratt. He's a good actor. So is Jimmy Smith. So I wish they would have got him, but whatever. But it was good. Bob Iger had an earnings call. Didn't listen to a second of it. All that's bullshit. I don't care about that shit anymore. They're like, hey, Thunderbolts is the #1 movie in the world. Never mind that it's tracking right along with the Eternals and about $10 million behind Captain African American is the second worst MCU opening in history and only beat Sinners by 1.9 million on Monday.
God, Sinners still making money.
That's $3 million on Monday. So, Thunderbolts did 5. And dude, there's a lot of people like the movie. If you like the movie, don't let me ruin your good time. Have fun, man. It's all good. I didn't. I thought it could have been good though. I give it a solid 5 out of 10.
I don't know.
Not a good grade.
I was listening to Real BBC and Mahler had like a great rework of the script.
He
story.
He spitballed such a good movie.
And I was like, oh, that's such a better movie. Mm-hmm. And it was like simple. He should be a script doctor.
But
it should be a script doctor.
I definitely I still like John Walker, despite him being in two terrible. Well, Falcon and Winter Soldier is way worse than Thunderbolts. Still, let's not get that mixed up. Yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier is dog shit. It is hateful dog shit. But he and Zemo both come out of that show pretty good. Yeah. Amazingly enough. As a matter of fact, at this point, because I had to watch it again, I'm with Sharon Carter. She got completely fucked over. She should kill everybody. She got totally fucked over for stealing a shield, and it's I think you could do something fun with the Sentry, like in more talented, more capable hands. But Kevin Feige, the architect of the brilliance of the MCU through its first 3 phases, undeniable. I mean, that's godlike shit in Hollywood. It is for producers. Mm-hmm. And then the architect of a shitty era with more stuff. So they actually produced more stuff from phase 4 to now than they did in all 3 phases. So now you are in a situation where you have as much bad as good, if not more bad than good. So we'll discuss that a little bit. Then Bob Iger's got a quote that Chris found. We're going to discuss that a little bit. All the Hollywood shit. And I'm going to probably gush about Mobland for a little while, too. I don't know if you've seen that, Chris, but I'm going to,
just the first few episodes.
Which are so good.
It's great. Oh, it's great and dark. Oh, my God.
It's so dark.
funny.
It's funny
my
dark
God.
though.
funny and funny. It is, yeah.
Oh, freaking Helen Mirren is so awful and good in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So we'll talk about that. But hi, Chris. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Just I'm on cup of coffee too, and listening to the Cope from, I don't know, how are they gonna spin Thunderbolts as a big hit? It's really not. I don't think so. And the second weekend drop will be telling.
Yeah,
But the fact that,
we'll find out then, right?
yeah, but it's not looking good. And what's funny is what's funny is predicting this would happen. What if someone put out a decent, and you can't deny whatever our opinions are,
Yep.
put that aside. Rotten Tomatoes score 80 in the 80s for critics is good. 95% audience score so far that
Yeah.
I don't know if it's changed.
Criticless, which is a much smaller site than Rotten Tomatoes, but I think it has a far more, what it feels like, a more accurate score is 68% audience score. I'd say,
But
that's probably about right.
that's
That's
so good.
still
It's
the
like
majority of the people liking it, right?
it's a passing
Yeah.
grade.
Yes.
It's a passing grade. But like, so what if they put out a good superhero movie and nobody came?
We brought that question up a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, it was weird. And then like, I don't know, looking at the year, let's look at the year. Will a superhero genre film break $1 billion? I don't
No.
think so.
Nope.
And the movies that will break $1 billion, Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon,
Yep.
Minecraft. I mean,
Avatar.
So what's the trend? I mean, the trend is these superhero movies, you can't just put out, you can't just, people aren't going to just go see anything because it's a piece of the puzzle of the Marvel story.
Well,
And even when it's good, I think the normies are kind of tapped out. And Kevin Feige, that quote that went around about the movies feeling like homework. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How many billion-dollar superhero movies have there been since Endgame?
Well,
No Way
Deadpool
Home?
and Wolverine, No Way Home.
Deadpool and
I think
Wolverine.
that's it, right?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Wow, you're right. That's it.
That's
So,
2 and 6 years.
so I really think that's the genres on the wane, and I think that Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be kind of the last gasp, and I think those will do well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a key jangling of cameos.
It is, but I still think and as time we'll go into more detail, but I still think it's cluttered with characters that will keep it from doing it'll do well, could have done better if you didn't have characters like Shang-Chi in it, unless they're getting killed in the first 5 minutes, then I will cheer.
Well, Chris Claremont had like a better take on it. Like, why don't you just have the 3 universes and 3 different versions of every Avengers character? You have the core Avengers, and then just have them all be different versions of themselves.
Well, didn't we hear that so those 3 universes are going to be fighting each other? The Fantastic Four, Marvel 9999, it's not the 616, it's the 9999999. It's 5 nines, I believe. And then the X-Men universe. And then, like, is it the Matthew Vaughn, Bryan Singer X-Men universe, or Bryan Singer X-Men universe?
Right. I don't know. And also that'll be a little complicated for the audience. I hope
it's complicated for me.
Yeah, same. I know, it's weird. It's like, okay, but how? And then also, what's the solve? Do the Fantastic Four just go back to their dimension?
Well, yeah. Is their dimension still there? Well, I mean, like, Galactus just eats planets. So, yeah. Don't know. We'll find out in a couple months. Let's start with, like, you're going to get more into this on Film Threat this afternoon at what time, Chris?
1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern. But specifically, I'm bringing on Jim Agnew, my friend, who produced 3 movies under 10 million bucks this year, and said, he tells me, we had this meeting talking about stuff. We're just hanging out. Went and saw Thunderbolts together. And he was like telling me all these truths that the trades ignore, dude. He says production will never return to LA.
Agnew
And
knows what's up.
He went through all the reasons why and was going through the money, and he's like, it will never return. And here's why. And it's all the regulations. And he's not a political guy, but he says that so many people in entertainment are just captured. Like he says, name one thing that Gavin Newsom did for the state that made it better. And people that he speaks to cannot name one thing that he improved. Nothing, as in zero. More regulations, more taxes, more incomplete projects. I know you and I like to beat up on Gavin Newsom because we've been affected. I feel like everyone I know has been affected, whether they know it or not. And how there's not more people outraged, how everyone isn't as loud as Justine Bateman pisses me off. Calling for his resignation and Karen Bass.
Oh,
so
I agree. And a good governor, a governor that doesn't affect your life either way.
Yeah.
They're a fucking umpire. They're not supposed to affect the game. They're supposed to be objective. I mean, this isn't a fucking dream world, believe me, but that's the best governor is the governor who doesn't affect your life. Like when Jerry Brown is a better governor than you, that is bad. On his second term, that was separated by 3 decades. I can't believe we reelected that moonbeam again. But his governorship was better than Gavin Newsom's. And they just back it because, Chris, it's Daddy Gavin. He's got the slick hair, and he's not Trump.
Yeah.
So that's
and he does all these weird, he moves his arms a lot. I think it's a weird nervous tick.
I think it's a weird nervous tick because he doesn't know how to be authentic. So he has acting coaches, and it helps him stay on focus because what he's really good at is not saying anything for about 5 minutes straight.
Right.
He's really good at that.
Clock.
Yeah, he runs out the
clock every time. And the fact that I remember when he was I would watch debates and stuff, and he gets softballs. No one ever asks him anything hard question. The local media in California has really let everyone down by not doing their job. I'm sitting there watching him on TV, him being questioned, and I'm coming up with better questions. And I'm just a citizen, just sees what's happening in the community, sees LA going down the toilet, turning into fentanyl zombie Walking Dead downtown. It's awful.
I saw my home state. There's still parts of it that are pretty. And I understand, people, I never thought I'd leave. I grew up in, I think, the best city in California. Barely hanging on right now is San Diego. But it's turning into LA South. I saw what happened to San Francisco. That went down fast, man. And it was all Gavin. Gavin was a mayor for 2 terms. He was lieutenant governor for 2 terms. And he's been a governor for 2 terms. He's been in politics for decades now. And everywhere he's been is worse.
Yeah.
Is objectively
everywhere.
Worse. Yeah. And they still want to back him, and they don't understand. We see how many articles do we see? How many times do we see people from Hollywood going, "You can't do comedy anymore. It's not safe to do comedy. We couldn't make Tropic Thunder today. There's too many. Our costs are running out of control." But back Gavin Newsom. It's like he's the reason this is all happening. So Trump has to put tariffs on things. By the way, say hi, X-Ray Girl. Sorry.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
That's right. She's here.
She's here. So Trump has to save Hollywood, and there's so many facets to this. And do I think Trump sat down and put more than a half an hour of thought into this? No, but he didn't need to because he's trying to get people to the table. I'm not the first to say that. It's pretty fucking obvious. That's what he does. Is how do we implement this? I saw you guys talking about it on Versus. I went through. I have no fucking idea what it applies to. People can pretend they know, but they don't know. Because one film will be shot in 3 different countries. So you tariff it based it's 100%. So it doesn't matter. It's uniform. So But you can't tariff because some of the movies made in America and some of it's made somewhere else. And that's kind of what it's been for decades. But
yeah, it was not really well thought through about like what qualifies to be tariffed. Is it movies from, let's say, France, right? Okay, I saw a French film a couple weeks ago that's actually a very good romantic comedy. It's gonna open. It's called Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. It's very French romantic comedy, full frontal nudity. I loved it, obviously. But do you tariff those movies? Because to be clear, they don't make a lot of money. I mean, they don't. A lot of these foreign films that open in the States, they don't make a lot of money. So we're talking about, and to be clear, also, I see there is good intention behind what he's doing,
yeah,
but I don't know if you want to bring up any tariff article or whatever, but we got into the weeds, but it's like, okay, you've got movies that are outside the US, like French, British films, Canadian movies, whatever that open here. And what people don't know is those movies are funded. A lot of those films are funded by the government. There is a Canadian Film Board, British Film Commission, and you are a filmmaker in the UK. You give a proposal, a script to the British Film Commission. They will fund your movie 100%. You make your movie. Part of it is you're exporting the culture of that country. They look on that as like sort of a soft form of propaganda that really works toward tourism. Italian films, French films, whatever. Like, oh yeah, I saw this great French film. I would love to go to Paris. They'll be shocked when they go, but because it's turning into it's pretty horrible.
yeah. I didn't see a lot of French people in Paris.
Well, the director of Amelie said, could you make a movie like Amelie today in Paris? And he goes, no. Paris is turned into an ugly city. So anyways,
yeah.
So people don't know they fund movies. So and they're exporting culture. So is he talking about tariffing those films, or is he talking about Runaway Production, which is a movie that is like based in California, LA, like the company that's funding it, the post-production, but it's shot all over the world like a Mission Impossible, which is a global thrill, action movie, right? Like those films, I'd like to see truly American films that have an American identity. Maybe a better way rather than tariffs is to put together a fund, whether it's tax incentives and or even funding movies that are really reflect the American identity. We used to make American movies, like we were talking about those Clint Eastwood Clyde the Orangutan movies where he's a trucker.
Any Which Way But Loose, baby. Those are fucking amazing.
Any Which
Smokey
Way You
and
Can.
the Bandit. Any Which Way You Can.
Those are American movies.
The Cannonball Run.
We don't really make movies like that anymore that are even like a movie like Dances with Wolves, which was sort of a Western looking from a different lens. I thought that movie was also, it's also Avatar. That movie's Avatar, the story of Avatar.
It is. And you're right, Chris. So I think okay, I'm not one of these people, far from it, who thinks like Trump's dumb. Like he's not fucking dumb. Okay.
No.
Stop it. You might not like him, but he's not fucking dumb. It's the same people who think Elon is dumb. It's like, shut up. Yeah, okay. But I think it's more for the Runaway Productions because that's what he mentioned in his and like just because I have no idea how you would implement that. But he is trying to look out for the American worker. So so I think if you get people to the table and it's up to the states. Now I heard Paul Chato say, or is it Robert? Like there should be some federal tax incentive. You know what? I'm going to tell you why I'm against that. Because I'm against any fucking federal worker being paid a penny of my money to work out some incentive for fucking Hollywood when they could work their own fucking shit out in California. Do it by state. Have the states compete. Georgia is doing a really good job with tax incentives right now. Now, New Mexico has them. Texas is starting to gear up to have them. You're going to see more states do it. And that's the way I would prefer it, because I would prefer for Hollywood to break up. That would be my preference. And then you could shoot all over America because we have a lot of diversity of geography here. You could shoot fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Where was it shot? Hawaii. Where was that opening? The South America was shot in Hawaii. So like you can do that all day long. Taxation is theft. So it would be my preference to like pay the best people the most you could. The problem is with shooting in America, as you know, Chris, it's the regulations, the over regulations. So just tax incentives are not enough because you have to, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that the unions have restrictions on how many line producers you have to have and how many makeup artists, and everything is dictated. Like you have to have this, like they dictated the writer room with the WGA strike. And of course they're going to go, well, I can go to the UK and get a tax incentive, also deal with another union. House of the Dragon was able to fucking work through the strike. Why? Because they were UK workers. So what the strikes did, what the WGA and the Film Actors Guild did was fuck over the working class of Hollywood. They did.
Yeah.
And IATSE was in a much stronger position after that to get a better deal. But Chris, do you mind if I read? This is from I asked a crew member, they call him below the line. I don't like that term. I'm just going to say I don't like that term. I'm going to call him working class. Working class guy, Hollywood. He has worked on Zack Snyder projects that you probably didn't like. And he worked on Last of Us. He worked with Taylor Sheridan. So Chris talked to him at the meetup. So I asked him, and he says, this is long, so be ready, folks. What's long? The text is big, so it probably isn't that long. It just looks long on my phone.
Yeah.
It just looks long on my phone.
Oh, God.
My thoughts on Trump tariffs for Hollywood. One, short answer is I fully support them, not just because I'm a Trump supporter, but because the industry is in a terrible place and no one else is trying to fix it. It's been bad and getting worse, and I'm easily one of the more fortunate people I know. Incentives don't magically fix the issues because it's basically a race to the bottom, and states like New Mexico have even lost out because they offered incentives without balance. Tariffs, if nothing else, will start the conversation as they have with our other trade deals. I think scaring or holding accountability the companies who only care about the bottom line sounds logical to get the ball rolling, and then we can figure out how to incentivize and find balance. American films/shows should be made in America by Americans. Foreign films should be made where they take place by those familiar with their stories. That doesn't seem controversial to me. The latter, ironically, aligns with what most liberals preach in regard to cultural appropriation. So this seems like a win all around. Trump brings their jobs back and they get to complain about him while enjoying rewards. That's his first part.
Well, I'll say this, like Derek Anderson, the DA, subbed his channel. He's great.
Subbed his channel. He's great. We love DA.
He pointed out that it's like Trump is a master negotiator. This is putting attention on the issue. It's sort of like he's doing Gavin's job for him. I do think that Trump likes to get under Gavin's skin.
Yes.
And really so it's like, if you're not going to do anything about this, I will begin the conversation that you got to address this. He's literally done nothing. He's done nothing. And this, he's making a great point. And here's the thing, my friend Jim, one of the movies he made last year, he shot in Kentucky. He went through the math with me of what it would have cost to make this movie in LA instead of Kentucky, where he had a courtroom and all the places he needed to shoot the film all existed there. The costs so much cheaper. And he went through the math with me. It'll boggle your mind. Of course, production is leaving California and will never return. It's the cost of living is so high. What you need to pay the workers that live here to do the jobs, it's sad and it's insane. And also the tax incentives, it's just whack-a-mole. If there are tax incentives here, they'll go there. If not there, somewhere else. That's it. So it's not getting fixed in the long run. So I don't know. The tariff thing is like, hey, do I have your attention now? Address this issue, but I don't think the tariffs will actually ever go into effect. But I think what it'll do is it will push change, which has to happen.
Yes, and my takeaway from all of this, if I have one takeaway, it was to make Gavin Newsom look bad.
That was good. Yeah, that I like.
That is why I think that motivated him greatly, because Gavin Newsom, of course, had a response saying he doesn't have the power to do this. But you know what, Gavin? You know who does have the power to change things in California to maybe incentivize a little more filmmaking there? You. Yeah. You do. Remember when him and Bob had a little spat over keeping Disneyland closed? Gavin Newsom cost this state a lot of jobs, a lot of businesses. 500,000 people have left. They've lost seats in Congress because so many fucking people left, because they, you know what? We get comfortable and we're like, it's a little expensive. Parking's a pain in the ass, but this is my home. My kids go to school here. Mom's down there, and that's great. But, if you find yourself in a position of like, okay, mom can take care of herself. My kids can change school. And I can live somewhere for half as much.
Yeah.
But what about the weather? Okay, let me tell you about Southern California weather. I lived there my entire life. If you live on the coast, it's cloudy a lot of the fucking time, especially in June. It's cloudy a lot. Got the June gloom. Fucking San Francisco, well, they like it for some reason. I don't understand people who like fog. I don't. Yeah. It's depressing, but they like it. And it's fucking cold. And you go 10 miles inland, it's fucking hot. It's temperate and stuff, but it's kind of temperate where I am too. So, and you know what? I'll take a little more rain or something to save half as much. A little more freedom too. There's that. There's the whole freedom thing, which you don't really recognize how much you've lost it in California until like you try to start a business here, do a little LLC, do a little this and that. And you're like, oh fuck, it was terrible there. That's all I was used to, But let me continue this. But yes, I think it was to jab Gavin for sure. And he did. And good. I like him doing it.
I love it. I support it.
2, longer answer, same as above, but add this. The industry was awful under Biden, and no one asked him to fix it. They didn't ask him for anything. Within 2 months of Trump being in office, Hollywood asked Trump to help regulate AI because they know he can make stuff happen. Actions speak louder than words. I'm not an expert on tariffs, but I have common sense. Common sense says the industry is broken and needs to be fixed before it's too late. We have no shortage of workers, but the jobs have left for overseas. People with TDS in the industry are screaming, this is awful and not the way to get jobs, but there are the same people who helped kill the industry in the first place. They say we should do incentives and not tariffs without realizing that's what Hollywood lost in the first place. Hollywood and New York rules entertainment, and other states offer deals to get some action. Some work left, but no one cared. Cut to a couple decades later, and Hollywood is almost a wasteland compared to what they were, while other states who stole their jobs have lost to even cheaper states, and now cheaper countries, and now to cheaper countries. Incentives are not magic. If they disagree, though, why not simply pressure the state and legislatures? They can put incentives in place at any point, or the actors, writers, and directors that are clearly not bothered enough to practice solidarity can simply refuse to work overseas. They claim to refuse to film in Georgia when they were fighting over abortion. In the end, which they never did, by the way. In the end, we won't know how this shakes out for a while, but some action is better than inaction. There are many reasons why the industry is in ruins. It's not all because we lost our jobs. Creators hate their own fans and tell their audience not to watch if they don't agree, Art became content, budgets ballooned because of bad filmmaking decisions. Unions and guilds demanded too much at the worst time and care more about their boards than their members. Ask why VFX is somehow not part of IATSE. IATSE literally kept them from joining the camera department because a new VFX union would bring in more money. They wanted a new union to bring in more money. Unions act as monopolies, and those who don't want to be a part have little option to create with experienced people. Scrapping physical media prevented many projects from becoming profitable. Focus on identity over craft and countless other reasons. What is funny is Trump proposed the most pro-Hollywood plan to date and will primarily help more of his haters than fans. Doesn't matter because it's good business, and in the end, that's what he cares about.
Well, it's literally Trump could cure cancer, and they'd be, I don't want the cancer cure. The Trump cancer cure. Could you imagine if he won in 2020 and the vaccine was out there?
Oh,
the conversation would be so different.
It was.
Like
it
Trump
was for a while. Do you remember that conversation change? It was.
I just hate seeing hypocrisy, and it's just annoying. Like, look, this is why I've been like an independent, and I look, there's some good ideas on the left, not so much these days. And there's good ideas on the other side of the aisle. What's the best idea to solve the problem? I mean, I deal with that with my own business. Film Threat's not just a YouTube channel, our website and other stuff, just that we have to do 9 things to cobble together a living. But, Alan and I and the team, but, what's the best idea? What is a good idea to solve this? And I do think that Trump has his heart in the right place, which is American workers and but I've been arguing it's not just make movies in America. How about make American movies? Make American movies that make you feel proud to be an American. Did you see that statue in New York, Gary?
Oh my God.
No.
Oh, you got to bring it up, X-Ray Girl, please. And then I have something fun, maybe. It's something that might be fun. I want to share, but I think it's on Matt Walsh's. You can find it. They debuted a 12-foot high statue in New York of a black woman just angry, 12 feet high. Why is she like in jeans and a T-shirt and looks like she's pissed at you? Like, are there no, and look, to be clear, there are black women in history deserving of a statue, real historical figures. They created a fictionalized Lizzo.
There's
shape.
so many jokes, and I can't.
Yeah.
I'll do it, Gary.
What the hell what the hell is even that? Like, I'm just like, what is this supposed to, like, it's like they're totally buying into the cliche of the angry black woman.
You're right. Like, absolutely so stereotypical. It's like, where's my baby daddy?
And all the quotes about it are so flowery and heady with academia buzzwords. This is even in college, when I was in college and never finished, by the way, I just looked at these people that would talk, and they would give these long speeches filled with $10 words that basically said nothing. And if you look at all the quotes during the ceremony that when this was debuted, it's some bullshit. It's stupid. Like, really put up something, because I feel like I am, look, I am proud of this country. There are things we've done in the past that were horrible, and we can talk about that. And I'm proud because we ended slavery. We ended slavery within like less than 100 years of existence.
The UK ended slavery.
Yeah, like,
and then we ended it.
And
there's more slaves now than there ever has been in the history of the world.
Well, I'm a glass half have full guy, you know?
Okay.
Like you can look on glass half empty and you can look at it one way. You can look at it the positive way and be proud of what America has accomplished.
It's progress, not perfection. Like
Right.
we're never going to live in a Star Trek world. There's no such thing as a capitalist utopia or a communist one, but
Right.
I believe in the free market and the individual and less government and authoritarianism. And I think that's the way to prosperity. I think if you let the people work it out, mostly they can, especially in a civilized society, to where you can put up 12-foot statues of angry black women and say that confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation. How?
I think it's embarrassing. And also, why did they make her unattractive? I'm sorry, that is not. And someone, if you scroll down there, I mean, this is getting memed all over. Someone did a version of a really skinny, attractive black woman that was like, fix it for you. Fix it for you. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if you want to find that.
I don't like scrolling on Twitter without taking a look first.
Pre-scrolling.
Oh, right. Pre-scroll.
Yeah, you got to pre-scroll a little bit. You got to pre-scroll.
Yeah, so quick divert, because that's what I do on the show. If you could share screen, you've heard of Working Man, the Beekeeper. Jean-Claude Van Damme is the gardener.
Okay, is this a parody?
I don't think so. I have the trailer. I just got a press release. Do we want to watch the trailer?
Dude, we were joking about this. All these Working Man movies. We're gonna the Drywaller. You know,
that's one of those. I laughed when I got it. Like, what is this? Is this real?
They already have the plumber already exists, right? Chat. The plumber already exists.
Plumber?
The plumber. Yeah.
Let me
There's
look
a
at this
bunch.
trailer.
There is a bunch. It is so weird. If this was a fucking parody, it'd be hilarious, dude. Maybe it is unintentionally.
Of the trailer, I could show the trailer.
Let's show the trailer.
Do we want to? Do we dare?
Oh God, yes.
This is like this is the dumb indie movies that I get. These are really good ones, but this, I don't know. 1 minute 45 seconds.
Is it Claude Van Damme in a little trouble right now?
He might be. Might be. But let's
I
tell me
can't
to
keep
stop it. Okay, real quick.
Okay, well, yeah.
The list is ready. Only 5 names this year. You've got 48 hours tops.
Consider it done.
A list of names?
Yes.
Including mine?
You sure?
Watch out! So why am I the last one?
What?
I love plants.
What the hell?
Plants. They become plants.
Pause.
Okay. Oh God.
That's what he
I
opens
love
up.
plants. I love plants. What the hell? Okay.
Go.
Okay.
They leave, they grow, they die, but then they become plants.
Oh no, they stepped on these flowers.
Oh no! He's using garden
Garden
tools.
tools. I want to see him kill a guy with a hoe.
Mr. Surge.
The executive blacklist. It's a list of certain individuals that the prime minister might be entitled to eliminate in the name of national security. I'm going to ask you to help.
Are you ready?
El Sergio is Baco.
Now,
I want to see him kill somebody with a weed whacker.
Baby?
What the fuck?
The gardener. What
Yes.
the hell? What?
I love plants.
But it's like the joke you were making.
Yeah.
Like beekeeper, the drywaller. Now the gardener with Jean-Claude. That's a movie we'll review on Film Thread because I'll get a screener link for it.
So
I'm sure.
I'm sure they've already done like the garbage man and the plumber.
Yeah. a million of those.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's hilarious, dude.
Oh man. Oh.
He's gonna save
Well-
Hollywood. That movie might get tariffed.
Well, see, I like films from other countries. I went and saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail, saw it on Sunday afternoon with a packed audience that all knew the movie. And as I'm watching it, I realized I know this movie by heart. Like, I saw it so many times as a kid. It was always on PBS. I watched and loved that film. And man, like, see it in a theater with a bunch of Monty Python nerds this weekend. I think it's out today too. It's Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Oh, really?
So you can so you can see it. Dude, it was great. Everyone was geeking out, and I realized, like, I have this movie memorized, all the dialogue. I mean, we used to quote each other, like, you know.
It needs a 4K. So many things need a 4K.
Well, it doesn't. They did an intro too with the remaining living members of Monty Python,
Yep.
talking about the 50th anniversary and how they formed a company to make the movie and then not pay themselves, which is what they did. And of
Yep.
course, they played all the parts. Nearly all the parts in the film were played by them switching roles,
Yep.
which was, kind of the joke and all the dumb stuff. But it was God, that movie's, they just did a honest trailers about it, which was really good.
And George Harrison came in and funded some of their later projects, Handmade Films and Time Bandits.
Yeah. It's it is a classic that, that cannot be topped.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I would love to see that in the theater. Love to take my kid, but he's not here. Hi King Fanor, Alpha Chat of Middle Earth for 50. What's up, my brother?
Nice.
Did you hear the rings? Like, when are the Emmys, by the way? Did they already happen?
I don't know. I never the Emmys, like, I don't know when they're
Like, they were
happening.
pushing for an Emmy again, and it's like, I was watching OneRing.net. They love us. They were talking about how they were really pushed. They really wanted awards. Mean so, especially to Amazon projects. Amazon needs awards. It's like they're fixated on it, and that's something that's a holdover from Salky, who
That's an
isn't
ego thing.
there anymore.
Yeah.
I just have to relish in that. Like, she's gone.
But a lot of that is contractual. Like, they
Yeah.
push for awards. They put up, they do an Oscar campaign or Emmy campaign for an actor. It raises their profile. They can make more money if they win awards. Their quote goes up. So there's a whole awards industrial complex
Mhm.
that a friend of mine, Sasha Stone, who was on Megyn Kelly like a month ago, and they tried to cancel her for many stupid reasons. I like her. Sasha's her thing. She does a thing called Awards Daily, and she talks about that all the time. How these campaigns, there's a whole business behind all that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Amelia Perez. Lots
Yes.
of money went behind that. And then we found out that something we already knew, that a lot of people who vote on Best Picture don't watch them.
Yeah.
He says, howdy, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. The more time passes, the more I consider the Jackson films to be a giant mistake. Every adaptation since the trilogy has tried to copy Jackson instead of respecting the source material. You can't blame Jackson for that, though. You can't.
Yeah.
No, it's like blaming Joss Whedon for everybody copying Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
It's like you do want to take that tone, but like, we've gotten so far away from Jackson. Can't even make the Jackson films anymore. That's a fact. That's a fact. We just saw what Philippa Boyens could write with the War of the Rohirrim, which was terrible. So yeah, it's like wanting George or Lucas back. It's like wanting Russell T Davies back. They become different creators. They become of the time. They get trapped up in the moment, especially in their little bubble of fucking Hollywood. And, like, imagine them making Game of Thrones now. What it would be. It would be a mess. I'm talking about the beginning when it was good. Rusty Shackelford for $5 says, it's 11 a.m. Gary's time. Of course, he's late to being early. Always. So
Yep.
Chris, what do you want to hit next? Do you want to let's briefly talk about Andor, and then we'll go into the
Yeah.
Kevin Feige Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
So you've seen it all. You saw it all in one
Yeah.
thing. In one thing. I wasn't a fan of the first pretty much 6 episodes. I think there's
Right. Yeah.
there's moments. I like the Empire stuff. But mostly it's just it's basically the first 6 episodes were probably 2 or 3 episodes that they stretched over 6 episodes. There's lots of just padding. It's not the worst Disney Star Wars ever made, but then they revert back to the Disney Star Wars of it all, and they really make a big deal about a rape scene, which was nothing in there. I think the gratuitous and listen, I fucking lesbians don't bother me, especially when they're hot, like ever. But like they put so much more time into that relationship, which was nothing in the show, absolutely nothing. And not when they could have spent more time with Andor and Bix when she was off getting her revenge. That took away from what should have been a more impactful scene with her getting back at her tormentor, right? So it finally gets its legs under it. This batch, like finally, like serial, like you see you see some character arcs, and you see some resolution finally, and you get to see the Gorman massacre.
Yes.
The Gorman massacre, and the way it builds up in episode 8 is pretty good. It's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a so-called minor event that sparks a war, which is happened in World War I. You know, a lot of people, like there's I like that it's this minor thing on this planet, and it's a mystery as to why the planet is so important. But we know, the audience knows, and I really like it. I like that things actually happen in these recent batch of 3, and you'll see their characters like Luthen. Luthen is going to be a big focus of the next 3, and you'll see things come to conclusions and resolutions, and leading right into Rogue One, which I think there's a lot of debate among, but of Disney Star Wars, most people agree the best thing that Disney did was probably Mandalorian season 1 and Rogue One.
Yeah.
I
think
so. Make of that what you will.
It's the best movie they've made, like
right
for sure.
Yeah, of the movies. Oh God,
the movies.
But
yeah, it was really good. It really builds up to something, and it's pretty brutal. And the Gorman massacre is basically what ignites the rebellion, and the message getting out, like really. It's a huge mistake by the Empire, but they didn't care at the time. They were so kind of arrogant, but there's a resource they needed on that planet, and they just needed the people to be gone. So what they did was they basically they bait some of the insurgents, and it's all a false flag kind of thing, but it's kind of a false flag on both sides. There's people on both sides going, we know this is going to happen, and we're just going to let it happen.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, but it's still, the pacing drives me nuts.
Same.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, those first 6 episodes did it no favors either. I mean, when it got good though, because we reviewed the first 3 episodes, Alan and I, before we had seen all of them, and we're just like, F this show. It's slow. It's all the problems of season 1, but it gets good, and I don't know if it 100% sticks the landing, but I will say that I now get the people who have been praising Andor. I get it now. I get it. I hear you. I see why you love it. And there are moments that were really tension filled. They were not Mon Mothma dancing to rave music for like.
That took forever. That
I know.
scene.
Should I like last week? Should we watch her dancing and put that on the background?
No, we got people actually angry at us.
I'll spare the audience.
Listen, all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. They definitely talk of like Jakku gets mentioned. At least they do force healing in this, but there's like force healers, so it's not like, which is in the EU, right? Yeah. But there's a force healer in this. That's the closest to, and they had a kyber crystal, but that's the closest they get to fucking Jedis. So Bail Organa's in this, and I thought he'd be in it a little more, but he does really kind of establish himself. There's a scene where Mon Mothma has to make a speech, and she's like, well, what are you going to do? He's all, I'm going to stay here. And she's basically saying, you're going to be a hostage. He's all, yep. Hopefully not, but yep. And she's like, but we need to have some kind of plan. And he's all, there's a plan. He finally puts her aside and goes, there's a plan. And that's like pretty much the most you'll get inferred to about maybe Obi-Wan still being out there and Luke.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like they mentioned the Emperor. They haven't mentioned Darth Vader once. That I know
I don't think
of.
he's mentioned at all. And Grand Moff Tarkin,
He just
like
mentioned,
that he, on Gorman basically was responsible for a slaughter in kind of a horrible way.
Yeah, he landed a ship on a bunch of people.
Yeah,
he just landed his ship on 500 protesters.
I love that. I wish that would happen in Portland. No, I did not say that.
In Minecraft.
I did not say that in Minecraft. That's what I meant, in a video game.
But it's set up pretty good. Now, there is an article, if you want to pull it up, it's in the Discord, where, of course, they try to, because the word genocide is brought up. So everybody's thinking, well, it's about the blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not.
I mean, you're right. I mean, like, you could read a lot of current events or events from the past into this, but it's borrowing certainly from history. It's borrowing from history, and Star Wars did that, when George was, lording over it. So, lording over his own creation. So,
well, I mean, the stormtroopers are space Nazis. Everybody knows that. Like that's all they are. Is they're space Nazis. Now they're really diverse space Nazis now. You may have noticed. I mean, the DEI for the Empire is like on point, man. So this article here, Andor creator, sorry, I'm off camera, back on. Andor creator on that stunner genocide speech and its real life inspiration. The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. Tony Gilroy breaks down Mon Mothma's searing anti-authoritarian warning from the third block of episodes in Andor season 2. And if you want to just look at it as anti-authoritarian, well, let's consider when this was made. It was shot in 2022. Long time ago. Between 2022 and 2024, after post-strike, they did some stuff. But when it was being written and shot, it was during Biden's presidency. So great sci-fi often serves as an allegory for current social and political issues, but never before has Star Wars hit such a topical bullseye, intentional or not. As Tuesday's episode of Andor, season 2, when a character delivered a stunner speech that warned of the rising government authoritarianism, the dilution of fact-based reality, and the reluctance to use the word genocide. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened on Gorman. It was about misinformation and who pushes the truth, right? And it certainly framed it as, it's the government that's framing the truth and the victor is framing the truth. And that's kind of what happened over the last few years. So airing on D+, I'm not saying like this show's based because it's not, but the same day, Drudge Report. What happened to that guy, man?
Yeah, I liked him back in the day, but he's gone crazy. Remember he wore that outfit that was like, I'm an old 1940s journalist here.
When he did his TV Drudge Report, like that was a long time ago.
He's kind of goofy after a while, but Yeah, I don't know what's happened.
My guess is he didn't get enough love, so he turned.
Yeah.
Headline became the latest to warn of America's slide into authoritarianism. We had slid there already, pal.
Yeah.
That's why the election happened the way it did. We slid there already. What happened in Canada during the trucker protest? They blocked bank accounts. They stole donations. And it was just they were protesting with bouncy castles. What did they do here? They fired federal employees. They fired military employees for not taking a jab that they didn't want to do that, like, legally they had the right to say no to. And now they're suing and winning, as they should. So we were there. What was happening on social media if you just simply went, I'd like to ask a question about this. Banned!
Right.
You don't believe the authoritative sources?
Like they tried to Mon Mothma's speech, they tried to cut it off, and so people wouldn't hear it. Like, what does that remind you of?
Mm-hmm.
Like people not being heard, not being certain sides not being allowed to speak.
So Mon Mothma, Genevieve O'Reilly, risks her life to deliver a speech before the Galactic Senate where she furiously attacked Emperor Palpatine and the Imperial forces. But one can also imagine her words being said to a politician on C-SPAN right now. Really?
Yep.
I believe we are in a crisis, Mon Mothma says. The distance between what is said today and what is known to be true has become an abyss. I would agree with her there. It's not in the way you think.
What's weird is real quick, Gary, the speeches, as I heard them, I'm like, either side of the political spectrum could call this as their own.
Yes, they could.
They could.
I won't spoil the whole thing. So scroll down a little bit. Let's get looking for dates. Up, down, whatever. Here we go. It's worth noting that Andor Season 2 began production in November of 2022 and wrapped in February 2024 because of the strikes and stuff. So filming was completed long before the re-election of Donald Trump and just a few months after the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. The latter having sparked much debate among experts over the last 2 years, a matter that has torn Hollywood apart, Chris. They just can't catch a break, those poor kids in Hollywood. They get shut down for COVID. They shut themselves down a couple times for strike, and now there's a mini civil war going on within their industry. Nonetheless, the scene that some viewers on social media interpreting the moment as pro-Palestine, I didn't get that. I'm looking at space Nazis. That's what I was looking at.
When I watched
you really want to get that if you get that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a Rorschach test. You see what you want.
Yeah. But that's all it is. And I'm not like, dude, this show definitely gets into intersectionalism in this season. I would say even more than last. In certain points. There's a lot of girl bossing going along. But they it is kind of serious TV, serious Star Wars. It's Star Wars without like all the fun, but they made something like pretty compelling this time. It's not just something hollow. They made something like pretty deep and good. Just way too late. We're 10 years into this Disney Star Wars. Nobody's watching the show. Nobody's really watching the show. And the price tag on it is insane. $650 million for 2 seasons. And it shows on the screen, like the effects and the sets and everything, really fucking good.
It
really
might
good.
be the best looking Disney Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that. The wardrobe, the ideas. There's actually a nerd, tech porn, which is kind of like Star Wars is good at that. I love all the gadgety stuff. There's different robots. The settings look amazing. And the one thing, it looks real. Parts of having seen Revenge of the Sith, I hadn't seen it since 2005 in a theater. and it was really fun to see it with an audience that was into it. But that movie's a movie for kids.
Yep.
That's a Shakespearean melodrama with
for kids.
lightsabers.
So,
But it is really dumbed down and simple and look, with the best lightsaber duels of any Star Wars in the prequels, I would say.
the first Phantom Menace has a good lightsaber duel.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The prequels.
Oh, the prequels have the best lightsaber duels. Yes, by far.
Bar none. But
Bar none.
this, like, really, it looks so real. I was really like this. It didn't feel like the volume, and especially contrasted with the Acolyte, which looked like soundstage, fake volume,
CW
cheap
crap.
looking sets.
Yep.
CW, the way it was lit.
Dude, there's a
This
scene
was-
where Andor is with Mothma and he's helping her escape, and they're like just walking on, and they're
That's a
in
great
Coruscant, and they're walking down, and it's like, holy shit, that looks good. It looked really good.
Yes,
It did.
and they just a lot of steps. I will say they didn't really think through that Senate building. That there are a lot of steps, a lot of walking.
Yeah, it like visually looked good, but it's like they have elevators.
Yeah, I know. Do they not have?
Well, they had to go another direction, but
Whatever. It was dramatic.
So,
It was great.
when Tony Gilroy was asked about this, his answer is asked about the sequence and its real life inspirations. Andor creator Tony Gilroy told the Hollywood Reporter, by the way, this is the same guy who said we're all products of rape. The really sorry truth about this, the question is, we get it a lot, is that peace and prosperity and calm are the rarities. Those are rarities throughout the last 6,000 years of recorded history. You should drop this show at any point in the last 6,000 years, and it would make sense to some people about what happened to them. I mean, we're talking about like an authoritarian empire goes and extracts a resource and kills a bunch of people. That has happened a lot throughout history. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, but the problem is, here's my problem. This is what the media is trying to spin about Star Wars. Is like, can we just talk about fucking Star Wars? Do we always have to? Yeah. Oh, it's relevant to today, and it's like
I don't want it wrapped in rape and Palestine.
I know,
like what this is. Can I just have Star Wars? But it has to. I think that there's some wing of people in the PR department at Disney and Lucasfilm that feel that Gen Z or millennials can only be wooed by some political connection. It's not a selling point.
No,
it's, it is space fantasy. It's a space opera, as George put it, for a reason that, you could read into it, but you also can just enjoy it for that story. And it really bugs me that they feel this is a selling point. It's more of I think it's a turnoff to more people than it is a selling point for people.
Yeah,
turn off.
I think like in a complete rarity, and it might even be by accident. When I watched the speech, I didn't take it away. Like Chris said, both sides can look at this. It's pretty vague. It's, like nobody likes authoritarianism at all. And they keep it pretty down the line on this one when they could have been so much worse. And they have been worse in the series. They have in times, but, and maybe they revert to form. But I was hitting up Mahler. I'm like, did you see it? Cause there's a character's arc that we'll say finishes. I won't spoil anything. And I wanted to see what he thought about that.
I like that you're seeing conclusions.
Yes.
To certain or resolutions, let's say.
Yeah. Things end. And you have to assume that. You have to assume that most of the people in this are going to die because we don't see them in Rogue One.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. But I don't think Disney Star Wars is saved. I don't think you should fucking subscribe to Disney Plus for the show. I think you should.
And
if
I
you
don't
really want to
think-
watch it, find some other way.
And I don't think people are going to care about the uninspired title for the film Mandalorian and Grogu.
No.
That what a horrible title for a Star Wars.
What is that? The next Star Wars thing coming out
in theaters?
I
don't know.
Is there a TV show coming out?
Not that I'm aware.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Okay, so Andor Ahsoka, Mandalorian, and Grogu. These are really inspired fucking names. Like,
I mean,
give me
it's
Splinter
so
of the Mind's Eye.
Yeah,
You know?
it's generic. George was like even the Empire Strikes Back, that title came from Gary Kurtz doing an interview about what the title of the next Star Wars movie would be. And he said, well, something like The Empire Strikes Back. It was so good. He was literally in an interview.
And
he said
George was inspired by serial titles.
Yeah.
That's why we got Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, I remember when I came out, it's like, that's a weird name. And, you know, I was a Charger fan. I'm like, fuck the Raiders. But
yeah. That's funny.
Did I say fuck the Raiders when I was 10? Yeah, I probably did.
You probably did.
So, yeah. But, it's like, I miss those titles. I miss titles.
Yeah.
I miss
titles
good
for
movie
movies.
posters and titles.
Yes. This is why that Atlantic article, I don't know if we'll get to it, but is this the worst ever era of American pop culture? They can't even do good titles for movies. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great title. And even these, and this is what bugs me too. This is a pet peeve that maybe some of the audience will identify with. Like when they don't title a movie, they're trying to reboot a series, and they just call it the same name, like Halloween, but it's Halloween parentheses 2020.
Yeah.
So you have to distinguish between the original from the 70s that Carpenter did and whatever new reboot, and Suicide Squad, then the Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad.
What about Thunderbolts to the New Avengers?
Yeah,
which you should have called it in the first place.
Yeah, they could have called it the New Avengers. I think it would have disappointed, honestly, because a lot of the Marvel, this phase 4 or 5 stuff, it's all been disappointing.
It dilutes the Avengers.
Yeah,
it does. That's now an Avengers movie officially.
Yeah.
It's an Avengers movie. So it dilutes the product even more. Runaway production has been a problem since the early aughts, and now California cares. Where was this in 2008? And I had to go through strike as an IATSE Local 44 set dresser. Alex Belfort for $10. Good question. I was talking to AJ from the Y-Files, and we discussed this because AJ's got a background in voice acting, and his wife has a background in acting, and he said, yeah, and I heard this from our guy who wrote me the message too, and Chris has mentioned this. This last strike was a direct result of the strike before, because they did not resolve every issue, and that strike fucked a lot of people. There were a lot of writers. A lot of people were pissed off at the writers. A lot of people were pissed off because I went to work in Hollywood down in, we'll get to that in just a second, Chris. I see it. I went down to work in Hollywood in 2010. So it was after the strike, and there was still lots of resentment going on, especially in post-production. So I went to work in post-production, which doesn't have a union, thank God, and that's why I liked it. But they were they were still digging out from the strike. And that was 2 years later. And it didn't shut things down like this last one did, right? So, where was that in 2008? No fucking idea. And remember, this one was over AI, supposedly, and it was over control of AI. It wasn't to get rid of it. It was control. Go back and listen to the WGA negotiators. It's about control of AI. And good luck with that. I don't necessarily love it, But
and by the way, I'm doing an interview with the guy who made that Karen Unleashed trailer that we watched a couple weeks ago. And he's going to walk through the process and what the future is. And I really think it look, the tariff thing, the Trump thing, that will work itself out, I hope. But AI is the other thing hanging over Hollywood's head that is coming. It's only going to get worse. I don't see bright news on the horizon, and Hollywood itself is not doing anything to stop it. It's just people like my friend Jim Agnew that are like, hey, I was a working screenwriter, and then I couldn't work anymore. And so I decided to become a producer and make small movies that make money. Under 10 million is a sweet spot if you can make it outside of California.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, the memes over the statue are kind of Trish Page sent me this.
Oh, Trish.
The statue is it will outlive the nuclear holocaust in the Planet of the Apes world. Oh my God. This it's unbelievable. Oh my God. There's I've seen even some even better ones. This is my favorite. But this is so good.
Oh, shit.
What are they? It's like, I don't know. Yeah. It's very sad. What can you say?
Very sad.
Yeah.
Jesse George for 10 Canadian pesos says, just started watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Fucking Philadelphia. Great show. I am really enjoying it. Wanted to ask if you're supposed to be rooting for these characters or not. They seemed like pretty terrible people, LOL. Well, if you watch Seinfeld, they were awful people.
Don't they say the N-word in like the first episode?
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah. There's certain episodes you can't find on streaming. That's why I recommend you can get the whole set, I think, together on DVD. They're terrible people, and yet we love them. So there you go. All right. The tax incentives are a must, but so does occupancy, work, labor, crime, and real estate locations. So too many factors ignored over time and won't be resolved. Hashtag stay Gucci, says Gooch for $13.99 Canadian. Yeah. I don't think it hurts other countries if we bring more work here. I think it just makes more work. And yes, I think there needs to be more American movies. All right. So, let's kind of go to the Marvel thing, and then we'll do the broad strokes of the pop culture thing. Cause man, that deserves a deep dive.
That's you got the link. So
So,
really, cause you could comment on anything, music. It's like the titles of movies are not as good, you know?
They're not. There's a variety. Did you put that Variety article in there, Chris? Because it started in the Wall Street Journal, but there's definitely a spin going on right now. With and we'll see if I can get my video done today on this. But the
Marvel Iger comments,
the Marvel Iger comments, the Marvel Feige comments.
Yes,
Bob Iger says Thunderbolts is first and best example of Marvel's new movie strategy. We lost a little focus by making too much. I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more, dude. And I wouldn't. I would have said, and you know what? They're going to say this for Fantastic Four too. They're just trying to push this movie, and you would think the word of mouth would help it, right? Because again, let's make this abundantly clear. Doesn't matter what Mahler thinks. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what Chris thinks. I think the majority of people who went to see the movie liked it, varying degrees, liked it.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it does in its second weekend. But if this thing flops hard, then you have a problem, because what we always said is, what happens when we get a good movie that nobody goes to?
That
underperforms.
I think Superman and FF could be those movies where they're legit good. Where, I mean, and whatever you and I thought, because I liked it far less than others. Alan gave it a 3 out of 10 on film.
Oh, I liked it more than
that. Yeah, you liked it more than it's fine. I like when and Versus on Monday, it was divided. It was
it was divided on FNT. The guy I had to edit my video liked the movie.
I love that.
Yeah.
I will just say that I think it appeals more to younger people. Not to be the old man yells at cloud, but I'll be that guy for a second. That I understand why younger people are connecting with Thunderbolts more, because the kind of quote mental illness that they champion in the movie or address in a very superficial way is. Yelena talks about being drinking vodka, thinking about past regrets, scrolling on social media, and coming home to no one. I saw the movie twice, and those are the things she mentions of why she is sad and melancholy and lacks purpose in and lacking purpose in her life. And I think a certain generation, I don't feel this way, but a certain generation, millennials, Gen Z, have had those struggles finding purpose, finding their own heroes, and so that melancholy or depression that is dealt with in the film, very superficial, but that appeals, I think, to a different I'm saying it might be a generational thing.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe.
And that's okay. That's okay. But to me, if I am feeling that way, melancholy, rare these days, but because I love what I do, I feel purpose in my life, and I'm very comfortable and happy. But people struggle. But I would see a movie like Richard Donner's Superman, and I would be uplifted from that. That is, to me, like dealing with sort of being in the doldrums of life, which we all go through.
We all go
Like,
through at times.
An uplifting, true heroic film that aspires to something greater, something that I could never be Superman, but I can aspire to live the ideals of Superman or a Captain America, right? And you don't see that in the era of crap Marvel. Well, most recent 4, 5, 6, whatever. That doesn't exist. None of that. All the heroes and the villains kind of meld, and the villains are all, well, we see their motivation. I can see why that person is a villain. They never did that in the first Thor movie. You just got villains, right? So
right.
in phase 1, it was very clear: Red Skull, bad guy. There's not a Red Skull was punched as a kid and was bullied and then became no one gives a shit about that. Like I feel like get back to, that simple, we know what a hero is. And Marvel just doesn't know what a hero is, I think. That's why I'm really concerned about. Oh, did you hear, Gary? Did you hear from anyone about what Doom looks like in Doomsday?
I heard our friend Guardian.
Did you hear?
I heard it's supposed to be armored. I heard it's full suit and armored.
Full suit and armor, but
Yeah.
there is a makeup, Downey in makeup, that is grotesque, inspired by classic like Universal character makeup. I don't want to say or to be too specific.
Mhm.
Just it's a disfigured Doom. It's
Yeah.
not unmasked. Doom is disfigured
Yes.
for sure.
Okay, that's good.
So you
I
didn't
think
hear
that's
that?
actually good. I did not hear that. No.
Okay. Well, watch Yellow Flash's video on what I just said tomorrow. But that's what I heard. Shout out
Yes.
to Yellow Flash. I love Yellow Flash.
Yeah,
I
we
love
need better
Flash.
villains. I thought the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a good villain. I
That was
think
a
they
good
should have
villain.
ran with him instead of Kang. But
Right.
as we heard with all the first reactions, is Marvel's back, baby.
Yeah.
Which is great to hear them acknowledge that there was a problem because they weren't before. Because Shang-Chi was an absolute triumph, and Thor: Love and Thunder was good, and so was Wakanda Forever, and so was Doctor Strange Mom, and so were all the D+ series. Well, now they're admitting they weren't. So, and now it's safe to do that, and we go through this repeated pattern all the fucking time, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe is, in particular, I'll go to the screen real quick, hasn't restored its luster since the epic culmination of 2019's Avengers Endgame. This is Variety saying this. Welcome to the alt-right. There have been hits since COVID like Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange Mom. But success has been wildly inconsistent as tentpoles like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, The Marvels, and Captain African American were amongst Disney's first comic book franchise installment to lose money since the MCU brought superhero movies in vogue. Okay, so now we have the Washington Street Journal and Variety, who was stumping hard for Captain America, now acknowledging it lost lots of money. However, Iger views the Thunderbolts, which is currently tracking behind Captain African America. Now it certainly could have enough legs to go take it on, but I will also say that it's got about this weekend to do it, because then it has to deal with Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible, The Final Dead Reckoning Forever. This is it. He ain't coming back. Here he comes. However, Iger views Thunderbolts, which debuted last week at $76 million, as the first and best example of the studio's new priority to make better movies, even if that means there are...
Oh my God. Wow.
Even if that means there are fewer of them. We all know that in our zeal to flood our streaming platform with more content, that we turned to all of our creative engines, including Marvel, and had them produce a lot more, Iger said during Wednesday's investor call. We also learned over time that quantity does not necessarily beget quality. Okay, I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 5th year in a row that Bob Iger said this.
Yeah.
5th fucking year in a row he has said quality over quantity. So they just go out and say shit to the investors, and you know what? It works. It works because these investors are low information, or I'm guessing a large percentage probably don't even know Disney's in their 401k portfolio, don't pay that much attention. But it works. Iger said during Wednesday's investor call, we've also learned I already read that, by consolidating a bit. And frankly, we've all admitted to ourselves that we lost a little focus by making too much. Okay, stop right there. It's not just because you made too much. That's going to be the party line, right? And that's what we're hearing right now. It's not that you made too much, because if you take the quantity that you have shat out like sewage, and I would say let's be kind. If 60% of it was pretty good, if just a little over a half of it was pretty good, you wouldn't have this problem right now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have this problem.
It's almost like being asked, what's your worst flaw? I care too much about other people. You know? That's my flaw. I can't really get around it.
I know. Oh God. Oh. And oh God. I can't with this. It's like fucking Groundhog Day with these people. Okay. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I thought I read also that, are they going to cut back on, like, Vision will be the last Disney Plus Marvel series that will feature a character from the movies. Now they will do Disney Plus series. They're still going to make Disney Plus Marvel series, but they won't feature any characters from the film.
Oh, so they're going to
separate film and TV.
Wait a minute. They're going to do what Kevin Feige insisted they didn't do.
Right.
What Bob Iger insisted, because they were separate. They were separate. Now, a lot of it was shit on Netflix, let's be real, and fucking Cloak and Dagger on Freeform, but like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was pretty good for a couple 3 seasons. It's fun. And don't like what they did with Deathlock, but whatever. You know,
the best moment from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was when Winter Soldier came out, and
and it crossed over. That was really good.
It was so good. Like the next week, it's like, what? It like blew
Hail
up
Hydra.
the show. Yeah, it was awesome.
And Daredevil, we got Daredevil out of it, but they were separate before. So now they're going to separate them again, because guess what? Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios don't know how to make television. He's a movie producer. He had nothing to do with Daredevil. So, all right. So they're going to separate that again by consolidating a bit and having Marvel focus much more on their films. We believe that this will result in better quality. I think the first and best example is Thunderbolts. I feel very good about that. So I, and like, again, maybe Thunderbolts has legs, and if it does, great, whatever. But I will point out its Monday numbers were 5 million for Monday, and Sinners was at 3, which has been out for 4 or 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
Which
And
isn't doing well internationally at all, but it's killing it here.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Well-
Films with all black casts do not play in most of the world, global market. They just don't.
Wait, I thought we were the most racist nation, Chris.
It's first of all not true. Yeah, that's not true. But also, although I'll just from Legion of Memers, I don't want to distract. Maybe show that after we're done with this article.
Yeah, let's have fire. We'll show it in a second.
Yeah. Core member on X. Thank you.
So Thunderbolts, lesser known heroes. It's doing really well. It's got an A- cinema score. That's really good. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to move the needle or be remembered. And what's really important is Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, and they put themselves behind the 8 ball with female fucking Silver Surfer.
Ugh.
God. And Pedro Pascal too. I think like even like regular people are getting sick of him. Like it's like, dude, how those although I mean, Last of Us needed him. Woo.
Yeah.
So it did really well. It's doing like for the people who see it, I'd say the majority of them like it. I'd say it's but I think the most people are saying it's a pretty good movie. Nobody's saying it's great. I think it's not great. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Marvels, Disney. What did it say? It appears to be a step in the right direction after a string of dismally reviewed films like Captain America: Brave New World, Ant-Man, Quantumania, and the Marvels. That's a fucking low bar. Okay, that is a real fucking low bar. Disney is also stoking interest in Thunderbolts by revealing the meaning behind the asterisk of the film. The ragtag group is now the new Avengers. That'll make an appearance in 2026 Avengers Doomsday. And the real Avengers are formed off screen, and we're going to have to meet them in Doomsday for some. And I don't know the logic of that, but so it's all spin. And they were hoping for a $4 billion summer this year. But as far as total box office revenue domestically, we have yet to have a better year than 2019. As a matter of fact, we haven't even gotten close. We haven't even gotten close. You can take it down. They're all relying on that. But the spin here is, we just made too much stuff. No, you made a bunch of shit. And the reason you made a bunch of shit is because you bypassed decades of comic books. I've said this so many times. That sold, in some cases, in the millions. To rush to an era when Disney purchased Marvel, where you had a bunch of gender and race swap characters, a bunch of gay characters that sold in the thousands and were canceled, to comic books that were sold in the thousands. And I'm talking, in some cases, not even 10,000. We're talking 7,000, 5,000. And now things are so bad, they don't even keep track of the numbers. Things are so bad that they don't even have any real distributors. Like the distribution of comics is side gigs and side hustles. So,
and DoorDash, delivering DoorDash for extra money to pay bills.
Yeah. Repeating the same mistakes from the comic books, all of it, right down to female Silver Surfer, which is just stupid.
Well, if you're looking for a hero, share what
I'm holding out for a hero, Chris.
From core member, give me your tired, your poor, your 20-piece chicken nuggets.
Oh my god.
This is the memes are insane for this. This is not going to end.
Oh my god.
Oh, thank you, core member. Oh, Legion of Memers on point.
Remember that little girl statue they had standing in front of the bull, in front of the stock market? It's still there.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was dumb, but this is next level.
They're not like, I mean, oh man. Like, when you see a statue that's freaking cool and iconic, there's a statue on Wilshire Boulevard, near where I used to work when I worked in publishing print, with a statue of John Wayne. It's at the corner of, I think, Doheny or no Robertson, whatever.
Yeah.
La Cienega and Wilshire.
Yes.
John Wayne kicking up on a horse.
Yep.
It's an epic, heroic looking statue, and that it's just you're capturing an action moment in time, and it's iconic. To now we have this. I'm pissed at you about to yell at you and humiliate and shame you striking pose of an unattractive, overweight woman, black woman. It's not. That's what you want to represent. It's this.
Put up a hot black woman. Come on.
Yeah, they could have at least done that, but the pose
I'd pay way more attention.
Is a whole like you can just so
hang on.
it's
I
embarrassing.
need a sorry, I'm sending Lady Greymaster because the Atlantic requires a subscription, and I will not sign up
so you
to
need
that
the
commie
archive
trash.
version.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna have her. Yeah, it's archived, but it's still for me. It's coming up as like we got it. But have you gone? You talked about it with Robert on Versus yesterday.
No. This is
Or
recent.
did he do a live stream on it?
He did a live stream on it. I was fascinated.
Okay, like Robert does these great late night live streams, by the way, that you should check out. He has a lot of insight. He's worked in the industry for a long time, and as he will state, and I hate the fact that we have to state this, we do not agree on a lot of things, but I would never call Robert a shill. Robert's fucking real. Like, Robert loves Hollywood. He loves the art of Hollywood. He might like it a little too much, a little more than I do in some aspects of it, but that's his industry. That's what he's been doing forever, creating things, including a banger audio drama. So he has good insight, and it's honest.
Yeah. And by the way, I've known Rob for a long time. He's very much like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
He in a good way that I appreciate. Not a shill, but like, I want things to be great. I want to support this stuff. But believe me, he does not mince words when it comes to modern Trek.
Oh, Star Trek.
Or a lot of other stuff that sucks and deserves it. So we disagree on some things. I love Rob.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Again, my wife and I disagree on, I won't even say some things, a lot of things. It's mostly her disagreeing with me, but it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I disagree with her taste in movies. She likes, and this is what I love about her, but she likes like the most depressing fucking movies. She's like, I found this movie. I'm like, it's probably going to be really depressing. Somebody commits suicide at the end. Somebody breaks up. She likes those movies. And vampire shit. Is this the worst era of American pop culture? And The Atlantic is asking this. The Atlantic, who has written articles about toxic fandom. Oh, there's I don't think you saw it because it was buried in Comics Beat. Clownfish did a video on it. Another fucking article on toxic fandom. It's just so fucking tired. An emerging critical consensus argue that we're entered in a cultural dark age. I'm not so sure. I am. I think we are. That doesn't mean there isn't good stuff out there, because there is. But as far as, let's look at it broadly. Let's look at publishing. That includes comic books. And you could primarily focus on genre. So genre publishing, comic books, movies, TV shows, and music. Which used to be the cultural driver of this country. It wasn't film. It wasn't TV. It wasn't publishing. For a long time, it was music. It started, especially with the boomers, and then with Gen X, and even with the millennials, but that's died off because music has died off. And what happened with all of these things? Well, they went digital, and they became more disposable. Right. And that means they started competing against back catalog, because this is a concept you youngins probably can't even think about right now. Is we didn't have access to every song in the world. We had to go out and buy the fucking album. And there'd be a lot of times where, you know, I was poor and I'm like, man, I really like that one song, but I don't want to take the risk on the whole album. You know what I mean? So like, but that we didn't have that access. So you have all these industries competing with themselves. Their quality has been diluted. They are run by algorithms now. And once you make something digital, again, it becomes disposable. And they're finding out that it's not as profitable as they thought. The big artists will make a lot of money, but like that little band that can be kind of a regional band that could have been around for, you know, like shit. Southern California had a bunch of San Diego, like each city had their own like local band that they like San Diego back in the day had a new wave band called Incognito. They never broke out, but they were really popular in San Diego, right? Even Oingo Boingo was primarily a Southern California band. Like that's where they were immensely popular. As popular as any other big band of the day in Southern California was Oingo Boingo. But so last year I visited the museum, the music historian Ted to talk about the death of civilization. He welcomed me into his suburban Texas home and showed me a sunlit library. At the center of the room, arranged nearly on countertops, stood 41 books. These, he said, were the books I needed to read. The display included all 7 volumes of Edward Gibbon's 18th Century, The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. I actually have that. Both volumes of Oswald Spengler's World War I era, The Decline of the West, and people have been saying it forever, and the 2,500-year-old account of Peloponnesian War. Thank you. I'd actually want some of those books, to be honest with you. That sounds great. But I'm not going to go through this whole thing. Chris, please give me the broad strokes that you heard from Robert on this, because we are, and I have to go over the article and we have to do a deep dive. And it sounds
also there's more black women statue memes to look at too.
Yes.
But that actually ties into this, right? Like pop culture. So we're talking about art. So it's art, music, film, comic books are part of this. And where does this come from? You know, where does this come from? When Rob went through his more commentary and whatnot, and I won't speak for him, but man, it is it's just sad because it's something you've been noticing, I've been noticing for some time. I think we will look back on this era from probably 2010 to current now as one of the worst eras ever for creativity. We've lost something. I think a lot of it is different things are being championed and pushed in academia as well. Don't read all these. It's basically taking all these, like, you can't, if you're a white guy who's written a novel, good luck getting it published by any major publisher. It's not going to happen for you.
No.
So, and I really look, no shock. I believe in a meritocracy. I believe in the best things bubbling to the surface, no matter where they came from. The best things will resonate with the most people. But when you start pushing things that are bad, I believe what happens, and this is why a lot of things are, when you push something of this is great, when the shills come out and say, this is awesome, and it isn't awesome, next time, a few times of that happening, you don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we are now, where it's just like, there's a lot of in indie film, they call it dumb money. So a lot of dumb money, they push indie movies because there's an agenda behind it. And 3-4 times of going to see it and it's not great, you're just like, well, maybe I won't see that kind of movie again. It doesn't grow the market. So it's very sad to me. I don't know what's going to pull us out of it at all. I think, Trump is trying to make some changes. Getting rid of DEI is going to be, that's step one. But I don't know. I mean, like, really, I think it's even creators being unafraid to go, fuck it. I'm a white guy, wrote this novel. I'll put it out myself, like you with your book. which came out last month.
No, it is. It's come out this month.
I know. It doesn't.
It's my fault.
It's perfect because the book is late and gay. So there you go.
It is
perfect. It's perfect.
We're
that.
working on doing a pre-sale, so we're in the process of that.
And I think it will take more and more creators. I think in film, it's going to take a combination of people just want, like whoever the new next George Lucas could happen with AI, right? Using that as a tool, like some new creator.
Yeah, that's why it's imperative that Hollywood breaks up. I think and Hollywood will still exist and the businesses will still be there, but maybe if they're fucking smart, they'll take some of their studios. Is it Warner Brothers and Paramount want to split a studio in Vegas? And maybe move there, and you save a lot of money in taxes just going to Vegas, going to Nevada. And they're trying to lure him here. So, and Tyler Perry's doing his thing in Atlanta and doing it very well, his niche thing. And that's what it has to be. Angel Studios seems like they're doing pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be, for one, again, to go back to like John Voight's federal tax incentive, and it's like, no, put it to the states. We got 50 fucking states that can compete against each other, and then you can film movies in every single one of them if you want, and if I was like a Wyoming or something like that, I would do whatever I could to get people out there. And then because it's got a smaller population, it could actually be a great financial incentive for the state. Just hire people from Wyoming, that's fine. But the solution of fixing California's problems with federal stuff, like, fuck that. You fix it, California. But
there's a profound lack of interest, not just from the leaders in office, but also people in the industry. Right now, there needs to be a summit where the heads of studios, executives can get together, and someone can tell the truth.
How has there not been that? How has there not been that?
Well, wait until 1 p.m. for Hollywood on the Rocks when what he told me fucking was insane. Because I'm talking to him I work on my little indie movies behind the scenes. I don't say much until there's something to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to him for some advice. He's telling me the truth of what's happening now. And it's pretty dark. That whole thing about Hollywood being the new Detroit, that's just, the trades occasionally stumble on what's happening. But Jim just laid it out for me why production will never come back to California. It's gone. It's toast.
Yeah.
And people are changing, and contraction in the industry. There's a little bit of hope. What's Chris Evans up to right now? I can tell you, he's in Ethan Cohen's new movie. The trailer for the movie Honey Don't just dropped from Focus Features.
And how will it'll do? It'll bomb in a box office like all mid-level movies do.
Well, it's like but it's Cohen. It's Ethan Cohen. It looks kind of fun.
Is it the Cohen brothers or just one?
No, just Ethan Cohen.
Did they break up or something?
They didn't break up. They just do different projects.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer. I watched the first a little bit. It looks pretty good. Margaret Qualley's in it.
I mostly like Cohen brother films.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of one.
Well, this is a Cohen.
Like
yeah. Well, this looks in the style. I don't know if you want to watch it. It's probably too long. Whatever. I'm sorry to surprise you with so many things on the screen.
No,
hey, the gardener, this.
No, the gardener's awesome.
That's so dumb.
We'll look
That's
at it.
where we are now. The gardener. But think of all the different gardening tools that can be used as weapons. This will be part horror, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think it could be fun. We will watch that trailer towards the end. We're going to get through some soups here.
Okay, cool.
But
I'm going to get some coffee.
Go get some coffee.
We're going to soups. I'm going to get my third cup of coffee.
Tune in to Film Threat. Because I definitely want to hear what Agnew has to say. Agnew's a good dude. And then
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Got all this new material for my video today. Mod Eric for $1 says, so the new villain for Doctor Who is not Jeremy. No, it is a straight white male podcaster who was shown and from the Doctor, the Doctor had shown more empathy to Daleks, Cybermen, Weeping Angels, fucking Omega, like every villain you could possibly think of was shown more sympathy and empathy than this villain. This is the worst villain in Doctor Who. And I know Last of Us came out. I didn't see the last episode. They were saying it's the wokest episode of television ever made. I would say, okay, I didn't see it, but I would argue you could make it a 1A and 1B with the latest episode of Doctor Who, because that was pure state propaganda, like without a doubt. Like mask off. They made a anti-vaxxer, COVID, misinformation, podcasters and streamers are bad episode. And thankfully nobody watched it. Oh boy, I got to get my media assets here for this one. Hang on. X-Ray Girl, where is it? Okay. So, Captain Positive.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
One of those words is in the name. I bet you can guess which one. For $2 says, always late. Are we sure Gary isn't black? Well, I've been to prison. So, yeah, no. Real quick. If you didn't hear yesterday on the Real BBC, I was, Drinker and I were to be on Piers Morgan, and they were kind enough to ask us to come on. And they gave us the list of like what we're supposed to talk about. So it starts out with, we're going to go over the Met Gala, but don't worry, Esther's there. She's great, by the way, to walk us through it. But then they say, well, we have another guest that you might get kicked for. And I'm like, they always warn us. So it's like, I'm not pissed or anything about this. I think it's fucking hilarious. And it was a great story to tell my kids. So we get through the segment, and all's Drinker and I got to talk about with Esther, who's fucking awesome, and the other guy, is the Met Gala. So you will hear, if this clip even makes it out, you will hear some of my keen insight on the Met Gala. And then we were supposed to talk about the tariffs with Zachary Levi. I was like, yes. And then it comes in, it's like, oh, Kanye just sat down. We gotta go to Kanye now because he's being kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm like, cool. Hit you up next time. So our segment ended. And yes, I got to call my son and go, hey, you know what I did today? I got kicked for Kanye. And then he walked out on the interview, which was even funnier. because Piers didn't get his following on Twitter, the number of his following on Twitter right. And he took it as disrespect. He missed it by I think it was 33 million, and he said 32 million. And Kanye got pissed and left. It's like, dude,
oh my God.
This is such a strange life. So I'm all, because my kid used to like Kanye back in the day. Right. So, you don't get to tell your kids every day. It's like, hey, I got kicked for Kanye today, son.
Kanye. Yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious, Gary.
But it would have been
talking about that.
It would have been fun to talk to Zachary Levi. Kind of bummed about that, but oh well. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Did Chris see the video I sent him about 300,000 Chinese actors being out of work? That's more than, how many actors do we have in America?
Yeah. I got that a DM. There's no story, just a video.
That's a lot of actors. They are mirroring Hollywood in almost every way. Well, a lot of people are out of work in China.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's any new news on India, Pakistan?
I just watched Asmongold react to the
dude. I saw I sent it to Jeremy. I don't even think I should say anything, but under his video, I'll read. This is not me. There was a comment under Asmongold's video. For is this World War III? And the first comment that comes up is 7/11 versus 9/11.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was like, the
Wow.
internet is undefeated, dude.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Oh man.
and I like Asmongold. I do. I was watching his
I do
video,
too.
and he's just reacting like facial reactions to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can't be good.
Yeah.
Two nuclear powered nations going after each other, and now we got Israeli, Palestine, Ukraine, and whatever the hell's going on in Africa. There's always civil wars in Africa. But great. The Regrind for $5 says, do you think Marvel is getting ready to change course or crash and burn? Also, follow me on Rumble to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Playing Oblivion at Regrind. Well, you're on Rumble playing a game. You should dual stream it on, and they, like Rumble wants you to do this too. Dual stream it on YouTube as well, right? And that can drive more traffic to Rumble. I think Marvel definitely has a desire to turn things around. I mean, they're admitting it publicly, but like Chris and I were hearing this at Comic-Con, 2 years ago and a year ago.
Yeah.
We heard that like the strike, they finally like kind of had enough. And we said at the time, like, you're not going to see a change for a couple of years. And what we've had is like these hodgepodge movies that they did try to make, for lack of a better term, less about the message than they have been in the past, but they were already made for the message before. So you end up getting these chopped up movies. Thunderbolts, again, that ending credit scene, which I fucking hated, was directed by the Russos 4 weeks ago on the set of Doomsday. It wasn't even directed by the director of the movie. So it's a hodgepodge, and I don't know if they can, because they can. I don't know if they want to. They painted themselves in such a corner that they're going to put like Simu Liu. I like the character of Shang-Chi from the comic books quite a bit. Simu Liu is as bad at casting, if not worse, than Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. And I'm not kidding. He's terrible. He's terrible. No masculinity comes from that dude at all. Like none. So, and it's just going to be filled with like some characters we like, but they're playing the bad guys. It's going to have Ian McKellen, who's probably going to be like Christopher Lee in The Hobbit. You know, it's like, don't fucking break him. And it'll all be CGI. And like, they're making this over the course of a year, a movie with potentially how many characters, Chris? I don't even know. 30,
like
40,
70. Yeah.
Like, how can you even do that? Like, even good screenwriters couldn't pull that off in a year. So I think they have the desire. What they need to do is stop the bleeding. They need a $1 billion movie. That's what they got Robert Downey Jr. and they're spending all this money so they can get a $1 billion movie again. And they need that for investors. And then what do they do after that? Do they just make X-Men movies?
But also this whole thing with like Doomsday and Secret Wars, and RDJ is in both, probably briefly in FF at the end. You know, we've heard that.
Yeah.
Like, the great thing about Thanos was it was a slow build. It was, and then there were other events unrelated to Thanos with the Infinity Stones that all came together. I think this is going to be last minute. We're throwing this in because we dumped Kang because reasons. So it's going to seem like kind of not like there will never be anything like the build up to Endgame. And I think while we can say, oh, it was all planned, a lot of it was accident or happenstance and then a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were able to do that plan because they weren't making as much stuff. So that gave them some leeway, right? Because you're only coming out with, remember when it's like, oh, we're going to get 2 Marvel movies a year now. Instead of 1.
Yeah. 2. And there's 3 in 1 year. That's
3
crazy.
what? And now there's like, there was a year where there was 3 TV shows and 3 movies. That's not counting the animated stuff.
Not to derail again, but it is Chrissy Mayer's boobs. To combat the racist statue in Times Square, we've commissioned this statue of a black woman replacing the batteries in a smoke detector. So that they get better and better. This is
Thunderbow on for $1 in the Streamlabs says, preach Gary, I'm on the Republican committee in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. RS generally treat politics like normies, watch football, they pay attention to the big event, Super Bowl presidential, and then they stop caring for 4 years. People vote every year. That's we just had a midterm election here for like mayor and stuff, and there's a runoff because there was record low turnout. And we're going to be in the same fucking problems. And I went and voted. So, and I vote at every local election every year. And it can't be just Scott Pressler going to, which he did great work, to Pennsylvania for presidential election. We need to like pay attention. And as Chris said, follow the people with the good ideas. And it does take a bunch of work. And they being the system, the uniparty, the people who want to take away your freedom are absolutely reliant on you being too fucking busy to be able to pay attention to what they're fucking doing. They want you to distract. And that's why there's also all that fucking noise on social media. You know, the transgender issue when it comes to kids is a big one. I think it's an actual big one. But that's also being used to distract you from other really big stuff like you being taxed too much. So they want you uncomfortable and busy. That's what they want. So they can continue taking your tax money, and they want you to feel in fear. They don't ever want you being comfortable, because then maybe you will take the time. If you have a little leisure time, they want you too fucking busy. They want you too worried. They want you too scared. And that's how they stay in control. And there's a point where we go, Trump ain't going to save the country in one term.
Yeah,
he's not.
And you mentioned the transgender stuff. I had this idea and someone else did it. I'm kind of disappointed. They made Trans Jenga. Jenga is a great game that anyone can play. It's so fun. They took the trans flag colors and made Trans Jenga. That is a thing that you can play. Gary, I feel like I'm now not helping with the show.
No, it's funny as hell.
I'm looking up memes. I'm just trying to make you guys laugh.
It's all good. You're doing great, man. Ryan Kinnell on the Streamlabs side for $5. Thanks, baby boy. Why do I fart more often than women? Because they won't close their mouths long enough to build up the pressure.
Yeah.
Lean back for $10. Steven Seagal is the barista. Rated R.
The gardener is bad enough. It's so look, they'll get to every occupation at this point.
The supermarket bagger.
Yeah, just something. The cashier.
The Uber driver. Shlomi Leaner for $9.99. Is there a reason why we haven't seen any marketing for Superman yet? We only saw one trailer and it's coming out in a month. Yeah, I think they're safe. Okay, what we were told is like the lead up, like we're talking it comes out in the begin. About a month before the movie comes out, they're going to start doing Barbie shit. So like, what was Barbie doing before Barbie came out? They had that Airbnb Barbie house.
Yeah.
They were doing insane marketing for that movie. That was really good. They're going to do the same thing. That's pretty much. So I think they're waiting for that. The fact that we haven't had a real trailer with a lot of dialogue in it, it's been kind of weird.
It's concerning that the main focus of the marketing is James Gunn. And I think that's good for trades because he can point to, look, here's the box office of my studio movies. It's very good. Theater owners, you're getting a hit. So push this, but it hasn't focused on the film itself.
No.
Which is, you would think they would begin that where I don't see people being super pumped for that film either. Like everyone I know is like, I'll see it, but they're not, I can't wait to see it. And I felt there was more hype for Man of Steel when that came out.
There's tons of hype for that.
There was hype and
Unbelievable hype.
some of the best trailers for any superhero movie were the Man of Steel trailers. I mean, I remember getting chills, and with Kevin Costner as Pa Kent, like it's just that and then the movie was so very different than what the trailers kind of sold. And it was very different take on Superman that I think it was I mean, you remember the reaction.
Yep.
I saw it a couple times where it was a mix of good and bad. So and I still stand by it. I think the movie has aged better than some Marvel stuff. So if you look back on Man of Steel, he was but then they tried to rush and play catch up with Marvel, and
Yep.
that's when they
Made the
did
mistake.
made that mistake, the most damage to themselves. You know,
White Chocolate on the Streamlabs side for $5 says, "Hail Gary, visiting San Diego soon. Any suggestions that aren't the zoo, Midway, or the beach? What about food besides Mexican food? I get plenty in Arizona. Check out the Expedition theme park video on the extinction of Doctor Experiences. Thanks." What's there? I would go. So you're going to San Diego and you don't want to go to the beach. You don't want to go to the zoo. You don't want to go to the Midway.
go to the Comic-Con museum, the
Yeah.
comic museum.
Go to a Padre game.
Yes,
Definitely go
and
to a Padre game.
There's so many great
Petco's fucking
bars.
awesome.
Petco Park, and you can. Do they still sell those seats? They were like $5. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's more. Now.
it's standing.
Where it's
like,
on the lawn.
Yeah, it's on the lawn, and then you could stand
You
up in the
don't-
restaurant. Yeah.
You don't have a seat. You can just stand and watch the game. God, yeah, so fun.
If you like off-roading, you can go out to the desert. You can go east. There's a lot of good camping in the mountains. Don't know how Julian has recovered from the fire from many, many years ago, but it's fun up there in Julian. Yeah. But I mean, fucking San Diego's beach town, man. It is like, so if you don't want to go to the Midway, then go to the Boardwalk and Pacific Beach, depending on how old you are. Like if you're my age, you don't want to go there because it's just a bunch of 20-somethings fucking skating around, getting drunk, but a lot of women in very, 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 very tiny bikinis.
And also the Boardwalk has that giant statue of the girl and guy kissing. That's a great statue. And right there's the they do a tour of that battleship. Which one is it? What's there again?
There's the Midway. There's also an aircraft carrier.
Yes, aircraft carrier. That's
Yeah,
what
I've been on that. But
yeah, I've been on that too. It's amazing.
There's a pirate ship too. Well, it's not a pirate ship, but it's a ship that could.
They put on parties on that ship.
Yeah,
which is fun.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a beach culture, which made it really bad for me because I didn't like the beach very much, except at night when I went there to get drunk. But yeah, go to Padres game. Petco's awesome. Schloby Leaner for $9.99. Oh, I read that one. Matt Schwalbach, Schwalbell, sorry, for $10 says, "Did you watch Jean-Claude Van Johnson? First TV show, hilarious dry humor. Van Damme is a secret agent undercover as himself." Melissa watched it. Yeah, she likes the Van Damme. She does. Albert Not a Retro for 5 Canadian pesos. This past weekend, the Netherlands honored the Canadian veterans who liberated them from Germany during World War II, and I am extra proud Canuck. Hail. Well, good for you. Hail the Canucks. Sorry about your PM. William for $10 says, "Problem with the MCU is the current phase has no buildup. Once they cut Kang, they didn't have a solid backup plan for a big bad to look forward to. Zero excitement for the MCU right now." Yeah, they needed to pepper. You know what? They need to put Robert Downey Jr. at the end of the Thunderbolts. Somehow, some way. Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting it on a fucking David Harbour, I'm on the Wheaties box. It's like, fuck.
They could have had at the very end something with Doom that there is no, I mean, he's right. There's been no buildup. The end game had such an amazing buildup. Even I'm sure normies didn't see all the movies building up to it, but they knew about the buildup. You know, they knew about it. and everything seeded, and Thanos being in Guardians, in the Guardians films, like that like being a presence, let's say. That buildup was amazing. There's been no buildup. There's no cohesive one story being told. There are tons of loose ends, which is why I've always maintained get Lewis from Ant-Man to wrap up all the loose ends in a funny monologue. Just have him wrap it all up.
Wrap it all up in one.
Wrap it all up and then just, whatever. But they haven't seeded unless things have been invisible to us. But I don't think they have. So,
Alucard for $2 says Film Actors Guild, say in anagrams. Film Actors Guild. Jake CB for $5. The tariffs should go into effect to protect American VFX artists and animators. Well, I mean, God, I hate to say this because I know something. They're not long for this world.
Yeah.
I think their careers have, I think the vast majority of them have, 5 years left, maybe. There'll always be some, but AI is going to devastate that.
And CGI will get comparisons of CGI from 20 years ago.
Yep.
To now, and it's like not better. It's visibly worse. I think it's the sheer volume. CGI is now a crutch in so many movies.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a quote in the Washington Street Journal article from Esposito, Feige's partner. It's like, there's nothing we can't fix without shooting the movie again. It's a joke. It's an inside joke. Tired Retro Gamer for $1.99. I like having real weather here in San Antonio. Yeah, you know what I like is the rainstorms, Chris. The thunder and the lightning. It's fucking great. It is.
I love that too.
It's so pretty down there. It's crazy how much, I don't want to say violent, but it seems more violent than the Toronto weather.
They're raining. Like when it starts raining, like your house shakes and all that stuff, but it's fine. Like here, we don't get like tornadoes or anything. So we just got big, warm, wet drops of rain that the plants love. I don't have to water the lawn. If the bigotry of low expectations for black women was a statue, Black Girl Magic, Darius, for $5. Well said. Well said. The bigotry of low expectations. Monty Python and the Holy Grail 50th anniversary in theaters today. Go see it. Neep, neep. Jedi Paladin. If I didn't have work to do, I would. I always could blow it off, but yeah. Mike Shriver Ministries for $2. Gary, that statue is a Letitia Big Shame James. There you go. Jordan Alvarado for $4.99. Black Lady statue is concept female Silver Surfer, longtime lurker. Missed you in Vegas. Maybe next time. Nooner plus work equals happiness. Cheers. Thanks for listening. And you can listen all across your favorite podcast places too. Spotify, Audible, all those places. This will be also on Nerdrotic Live, or just hang on to the link. It's all good. Albert Not a Retro for 5 Canadian pesos. If you're going to put up a statue of a black woman, how about Madam C.J. Walker, the first female millionaire in history? Why not? Ram Bam 3000 for 5 British pounds. Van Damme looks amazing for his age. Seagal should take notes. I think his knees are blown out. I think Seagal can't do anything about it. My sister and her best friends made a feature for less than $50K, and it has better reviews than Sinners and Thunderbolts. It ends, director Alex Ulam, says Steve Caruson. Sorry if I messed up those last names. Congrats. The Chicago Box for $4.99. Andor episode 8 is exactly what the government wanted to happen on J6. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. But wow. It's a good episode, man. I'm just calling balls and strikes here. It's a good episode. It is. I am also done. I'm almost done with 2009 Ultimate Spider-Man. I am up to the Clone Saga where Doc Ock has Magneto powers. What the fuck was that about? Well, that's the Ultimate Universe, Shlomi Leaner. And yeah, it got a little too much towards the end. I like the beginning. Ultimate Spider-Man, the first 100 issues, are really good. Your Barmy for $2 says Mando movie will have 30-foot statue of Lizzo. She's losing weight though. That might be Lizzo, as far as we know. LawTube Junkie, thank you for the $1.99 donation. I appreciate it. 12-foot tennies? Teenies? Teenies?
I think.
Is that supposed to be penis, but tenis?
I think
Well, just
so.
say penis. Just say 12-foot penis. It's okay. For $5. Hey, everybody. Jeremy here from The Quartering. Just wanted to remind you to grab your Mother's Day gift set. Coffee Brand Coffee, please. There you go. Snacks for $2. Star Wars Bob. Yes, that's what we're going to get next. Chris, Star Wars Bob.
Star Wars Bob.
What the fuck is Star Wars now? I don't know. I still don't know.
Yeah. After this, who knows?
Oh, it's Ahsoka. It's right back to the Filoniing. JRL 1436 for $9.99. Hello, gentlemen. I know I asked this a bit ago and heard you mention it, but San Diego Comic-Con, what is the plan and are you going to be there? Have a blessed day. Maybe. We'll find out if Chris gets a panel.
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know if it's gone out yet, the invites for a panel. So your guess is as good as mine, Gary. I do have a press pass, but if I don't get a panel, usually I get like, if I get a panel, I invite my friends, other people that, would want to attend, do the panel, and there you go. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think they've gone out the notifications. It'll be more end of this month, early June.
Yeah, I didn't see any emails yet, from Comic-Con, but yeah, we'll keep you updated. I mean, I do have to go back and visit my mom again, so I usually coincide it with Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Thumbs up 1981 for $4.99. I rewatched the prequels a year ago, and one thing that struck me is how nice it was to follow the main story, not all this dancing around other stories. Yep. God, that's a good point. That's all Disney Star Wars is dancing around other stories and trying to like fit, put the square peg into the round hole. Scottish Nerd for £5 Call it Mandalorian and Grogu Adventures. MAGA for short. There you go. Mandalorian and Grogu Adventures. Could be a winner. Could be. Carol Halls has sent 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Thank you for $25. Thank you, Carol. Nerdrotic. Did I say Nerdrotic Live? Nerdrotic. Nerdrotic. We're gonna watch 2 episodes of Mobland this Sunday because I missed last Sunday. Mobland is fucking fantastic. It is the best show on TV right now. Everybody should be watching Mobland.
I have seen first few episodes. It's really good.
You're pretty much in there then because there's only 6. So
I'll finish it this weekend.
And what's great about it is it's a character piece with a fucking amazing cast, and it keeps you guessing. You're engaged, and it keeps you guessing. San Diego Chargers 93 for $4.99. What's funny is Fortnite Star Wars even is 100,000 times better than the D+ slop. And you can unlock Grievous. Some call it Battlefront 3. LMAO. The Dead Man for $2. I was like, SD Chargers 93. It's like the 94 team was better. Because that's the one that got in the Super Bowl. The Dead Man for $2. It's the implication. It is the implication. Look at how fast everybody moved when Trump just put out a fucking post talking about tariffs. Not even like how they're going to be how they're going to like be put into effect. Like we don't know, but look at how fast everybody moved. And then what Chris brought up, and it just kind of blows my mind thinking about it. Why didn't we did talk about it with the comic book industry at the time. Why weren't they doing a summit during COVID?
Yeah.
Why wasn't Hollywood doing a summit during COVID? You had all the fucking time in the world to do a summit.
Yeah.
Big T for $4.99. RDJ sent out a birthday invites with him as Dr. Doom. I pray Doom doesn't look like stereotypical mad scientist combined with RDJ Iron Man total shit. Now, we've like that suit, that picture that was going around apparently was not it. But
That's
we'll
not
see.
it at all.
We'll see. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. Joseph 91 Salazar for $4.99. I have a feeling they will have Sam defeat the evil white Captain America in Doomsday or Secret Wars. I would too, because it does create a problem bringing back Chris Evans' Cap when you have your new Cap who you want to lead the Avengers in their big turnaround. So you have two Avengers teams. Why didn't you just call it West Coast Avengers? Well, they weren't on the West Coast. But you have two Avengers teams, and they are being led by Yelena and Black Falcon Captain America. You can't, like, it doesn't work without Cap and Iron Man. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Steve Rogers is Cap. Your MCU doesn't work without them. Getting rid of them was incredibly stupid at the same time. You re-fucking cast. You don't replace. You don't pass on a mantle. You recast. But they wanted to make things less white. They wanted to, which meant more diverse to them, but it means less white. They wanted more women in there. And now you reap what you sow. And now you're scrambling because for years and years, you said the fans were wrong. That small little vocal group of chuds were absolutely wrong. And now we're all of a sudden admitting defeat. And you know what it was? It wasn't bad. We just put out too much. And those dumb little fans couldn't pay attention. No, you put out a bunch of fucking slop that a lot of people did pay attention to and don't want to come back now. Snacks for $5. Originally, the statue was supposed to top the Empire State Building. Jenna Jameson made a vampire comic book Shadowhunter. Decent story and pretty good artwork. I don't want to get in trouble. Like, which Jenna Jameson? Because I only know one.
I know one. I know the one you know.
Was it that Jenna Jameson? Or is it just a comic book creator who's unfortunately got the same name as Jenna Jameson? Either way, go check it out. I just don't want to, wonder how Jenna Jameson's doing.
I don't know.
Mads the Catter for $5. Hello, Gary, Chris, X-Ray Girl, and chat. It's my birthday, and I will accept all the good wishes. Say, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! You know what? I have your birthday present right here, Gary. I'm going to share screen. This is the last one.
No, it's not. Don't even.
This is the last. I do not want to derail the show.
You're not derailing the show.
Okay, here, just
there's
check
nothing.
this out.
There's nothing to derail. This show is like all of our podcasts are hot messes. It's okay.
Happy birthday. There we go. Oh.
Internet.
It's not even up for a day. And the thing is, like, getting massacred online. It's just
Arm Slave for $5. The Dentist coming this summer. Jasmine Pacheco for $4.99. Do you know any conservative reaction channels? All the big ones are liberals cheering the "I'm gonna be a dad" line, like Real Rejects and the Normies. I think Drinker made a video that got pulled, and it's back up now, as it should be. Warner Brothers abuses the copyright system like no fucking other. That's why, like, our Superman review is gonna be like take 3 times as much work than anything else because it's fucking Warner Brothers. But Jeremy, I think a lot of people have reacted to it. So there's a clip with Ellie from The Last of Us going, "I'm going to be a dad now." No, you're not. You did not impregnate a girl. You are in a lesbian relationship. You will be long gone by the time that baby comes out. You'll get in your like post-apocalyptic U-Haul, run over some zombies who I'll be rooting for, and you'll be broken up. You're not a fucking dad. You'll be a second mom, but you're not a dad. No. What people choose to do in their adult life, I don't care. You do you. That's fine. And you respect me, I respect you. But do not ask me to participate in your fantasies, because I won't. Period. Because truth matters. Just does. The Napski for $4.99. Want a testosterone shot? Put on the Astartes 2 trailer. I've played some of those before, and they're fucking rad. Harry,
What is it? What
Astartes 2.
trailer?
It's a Warhammer 40K, right?
Yeah,
yeah, Warhammer 40K stuff. It's a fan made. It's fucking great. Harry Brownhole for 2 Canadian pesos says, a femme surfer. Can I speak to the manager of this world?
Oh no.
Shlomi Lehner for $2. You missed my chat about Spider-Man, the $9 one.
I think we got that one.
We did.
Yeah.
We did, but thank you. Chad Admiral Thrawn for $2. Andor was being compared to Stalin. Andor blows. Not everybody likes Andor. I thought it was a good set of episodes. I thought season 1 was fine. Things I liked, things I didn't like. I wouldn't go so far as to recommend it to anybody, and it's incredibly boring. And this one's incredibly boring too. If finally something just happens towards the end. But it's good. Pamistan and Helen Narkaters, please Oppenheimer 'em. Okay. Pakistanian versus telemarketers. Okay. Helen Architers and telemarketers. Go Pakistan, Empum. Says Martin 261. I hope they come to a peaceful resolution. I don't want any nuclear bombs falling. I used to work with people in Bangalore at Technicolor. That was always fun. That nightly phone call to Bangalore. Oof. And I've already told the story that I had to have cultural sensitivity training to get ready for them. Yes, at Technicolor. And the cultural sensitivity training was basically their culture's very different. They don't like to do things like apologize or admit any wrongdoing. And I'm like, really? No, they will never admit a mistake. Really? And no, they didn't. And you just had to work around it.
Well, I love naan bread. I think naan is great.
Garlic naan bread.
Freddie Machete for $9.99. Happy Mother's Day to all the nerd moms. Thanks for all the wise words, Gary and crew. Cheers. Thank you. Jazad 7069 on the Streamlabs side for $1. Best conservative reaction channels for movies and television. Too many channels cheering on and crying, I'm gonna be a dad line. Sick of it. Who's cheering that on? Yeah, I would say go other places.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. It's weird. People complain about their feed on Twitter, but mine's pretty I mute stuff and I rarely block, but I do. And my feed is pretty knows me well, what I like to see.
I never see that either.
Yeah,
I
stayed away from hyper political stuff, and I hit a lot of
Same.
I get a lot of cinema. This is cinema. This scene is banger. I won't listen to anybody saying Shang-Chi's not a good movie. It's fine. I can deal with that. But I also get a lot of cute animal shit because that's what I click on. Because
Me too.
it helps your feed, but it's mostly nerd stuff. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the fluffer. Cross him, and he will blow you away. Says infamous for $6.99. The fluffer, and that's the last one of the day.
Do we want to watch this trailer?
Let's watch this trailer before you go.
It's Chris Evans is in the trailer. Honey, don't. But Margaret Qualley's in it. It's directed by Ethan Coen. I have not seen it, but I passed the part where it says, and now the trailer for Honey Don't starts now.
Oh, I know the trailer for the trailer.
I am annoyed. I hate those. So ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Already like it. Aubrey Plaza.
Address you wanted?
Thanks, MG.
Honey, right? Love those click-clacking heels.
Honey
Nice car.
O'Donoghue, to what do we owe the honor?
Can you tell me about this woman, Mia Novotny?
She got stabbed and stuffed in the car, I guess.
In the cool of the evening when everything is getting kind of cool.
Only when we submit to the will of God do we serve him. Hector, not in the sacristy.
You call me up and ask me, would I like to go with you and see a movie?
The French, they're not happy.
Who's not happy?
First I say no, I got some plans for tonight.
Honey O'Donoghue, I ain't seen you in a minute.
Mia Novotny, are you aware of any trouble she was in?
Will she owe you money?
She was afraid of something the cops couldn't help her with. I said I'd help. Cops said it was an accident.
Love is
That was from her church in town. She never wore that in the house.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Why is a private investigator looking into a traffic fatality?
What can you tell me about
Do you drink?
Heavily, it's a point of pride.
Should you and I discuss?
Tuesdays I dry out.
Today's Wednesday.
Today is Tuesday.
spooky.
Duty. Submission. There is no higher service.
I help people, Miss O'Donoghue. I see a need and I fill it.
You see a need and you exploit it.
This is God's punishment. There's will be done.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
You're fascinating.
And you haven't even seen the riddle tattooed on my ass.
Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little boy like you.
I like it. It's a good murder comedy thriller, Coen Brothers style.
Cohen, yeah.
It with sexy. It's sexy.
Yeah.
Got those shoes click clacking. Good
Yep.
cameos. Aubrey Plaza, Chris Evans. That I mean, doesn't it looks fun?
I
Looks
like
old
Coen
school
Brothers.
Coen. Yeah, old school.
Chris
Coen.
Evans is not a movie star, though.
Yeah, but he's good as a preacher that is probably corrupt. So there you go.
They know corruption.
Yes.
That's why they play it so well. All right. So you've got a big show coming up today at 1 p.m. Pacific on Film Thread.
That's right. That's right. Join us. Special guest, Jim Agnew, screenwriter, producer, filmmaker, gonna tell us the truth, and we'll talk Trump tariffs as well. And we'll have fun.
Yeah. Deep dive on that. There's a lot
We'll
of
probably have fewer black women statue memes. Fewer.
I think you should fill it with them.
Oh my God.
Legion of Memers, go. The Napski for $9.99 says best start to Doomsday like Loki and Infinity War. Have Evans/Hydra Cap kill Mackie/Cap. First thing, have Bucky become Cap, and then he and Evans duke it out like Winter Soldier all over again. That sounds kind of good, actually. I'm not against
I
that.
like that.
Could we start it out with Loki pretty much killing all the new Marvel characters? He steps down from his green spaghetti timeline to just wipe everybody out.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi, America Chavez,
if they're going to depend
Shuri,
the events
Miss Marvel.
of Doomsday on someone knowing Loki season 2,
Yeah.
it's doomed. Doomsday is doomed. Well, someone probably already said that, but
Well,
I just think it should not be connected to any of the Disney Plus shows. None. Zero.
I don't think anybody thinks that this will flop. It's not going to flop. It's going to make
No.
so much fucking money.
Yeah.
But is it going to have legs? Is it going to be actually good? And is it going to be Infinity War or is it going to be Endgame? I think it would be happy to be Endgame. I think it would be stoked to be Endgame. And I meant in quality, not box office. The box office, of course, they'd love that. But I'm talking about in quality because Endgame is a big step down from Infinity War as far as quality. Big step down.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So tune into Film Threat at 1. What do you got coming up, X-Ray Girl?
Tonight, Poor Choices at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be in Boston for the gaming con, PAX East.
Wow. Are you doing live streams from there?
I might. It depends on how good the Wi-Fi is or the services.
Are you going to be having a booth there or?
No. I just wanted to go and see. I was told that this is one of the best gaming cons to go to, and I've never been to a gaming con.
For video games?
For video games, yeah. Just all
Is
the video
there?
games.
Where is the X-Ray Girl meetup sponsored by White Claw?
Oh my god. TBD.
Okay, stay tuned.
There you go.
X-Ray Girl will reveal on her channel tonight during Poor Choices where the meetup is, sponsored by Truly and White Claw.
Where we'll make continual poor choices.
Yeah.
Just full of them. Just full of them. Yeah. Got Friday Night Tights with Archcast. I'll be there. And we will definitely, I'm going to go over, I guess, all these articles that are coming out that are fascinating. And I'm going to get to work on video. So that's all. That's my day. Hey, and my hot water's back. For all who are concerned, I have a new hot water heater. I was able to take a shower at home, dude.
A hot shower this time.
A hot shower, and it was fucking glorious. Jesus Davila is gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership for $5. Hail, Jesus. Thank you very much. Again, Mobland Watch Party this Sunday. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch it. So, in the meantime, who are we raiding?
It'll be Young Rippa's channel for Rip and the Silverback.
Okay. That's what we're raiding. And then after that, you can go to Film Threat. Go to Film Threat.
All right.
Should I call Eric during his live stream? I got to ask him a question. I can do it.
Yeah, do it.
That or as, either or.
I did that to him yesterday. I did it to Jeremy too. I'm just gonna start doing it all the time. Fuck it. Like, what are you doing? Hey.
He does it on Sundays like half the time, anyways, with Garrett.
Yeah. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Nooner. Ciao.
Bye-bye.